Neum et propositum in taberna mori. When those
And capture Sigismund himself. And then you will
now we close our doors for the... How'd you like our wine, Chevalier?
The art of winemaking has a long tradition in La Belle France. Recipes are passed on from father to son, and each generation brings them to perfection. I myself was practically raised on wine. How many I have tasted. Even the French royal court took note of my refined taste. The king himself had wine delivered for his table according to my advice.
I expect his lordship had the best barrels rolled out. Now, if you'd only known he had a real connoisseur here.
Best barrels! Mon ami, this wine would perhaps be suited to the infirmary, where it would suffice for cleaning wounds and easing pain. For that, the taste is of little consequence.
Baron Vaku. Having a good time?
It's a fucking bore. These old farts here have no idea what fun is.
Well, what are you missing? There's wine, food.
Even a few females worth the same.
I'd rather have a game of dice. Or a good punch-up.
Good day to you. Looking at him close.
In the simplest terms, I'm offering you a business deal, without any ulterior motives. I am far too old for...
How come you're still here, sir? Weren't you supposed to travel with Sir Hanush? Raise an army, prepare a wedding feast and all that?
All hail Jobst. He sorted things out here nicely. He got my money for a start, and that's more than I wanted to give him. But you know how it goes. Give them a finger. I explained to the Margrave that I'm not going anywhere, and I sent my captain with him. He's still young and full of piss and vinegar. I'm too old and fond of my comfort.
Did you at least discuss with Hanush where the wedding will take place?
Nothing to discuss. The wedding will take place at our castle Littitz, of course. It's the pride of our family. We can fit in 3 times more people than here, and that still wouldn't be much.
Ah, but there are 2 castles in Ratai. I'd bet my right arm old Hanush will want to have the wedding there.
What? In Ratai? Well, I ought to look into that then.
But deal with him yourself, though. I won't be your gent's messenger anymore.
I wouldn't worry about it if I were you, my lady.
It's easy for you to say. You don't have to listen to it day in, day out.
Immensely valuable. It depends. May I interrupt you for a moment?
You already did, didn't you?
What's the matter?
Everyone keeps saying that the prettiest girls in the whole county serve the Yoderans at Raborsch. I didn't believe it, but I can see there's some truth in it.
What are you blabbering about?
Haven't you had a little too much wine, perhaps?
Not at all. I could drink every man here under the table. Want me to show you?
No need. I believe you.
Stop bothering us and go pester someone else. Dasha isn't interested. Stand straight, Martin.
Bullocks! May I interrupt you for a moment?
You already did, didn't you?
What's the matter?
My friend, you'll vouch for me.
Good evening, my esteemed lady. I haven't yet had the opportunity to make your acquaintance.
No matter. I know who you are. Although Martin hardly spoke of you, from what I heard, I could conjure up a pretty good picture.
No offense, man. But whatever picture you painted me, I have reason enough to believe it's mistaken.
Indeed. So the stories of how in your youth you used to drag a different chambermaid to your bed every night is nothing but slander?
And I also heard that you once fell drunk into the trench in front of the fortress, horse and all.
All right, I confess to that one. But nothing happened to either me or the horse.
And is it not true that one of your paramours made off with your late mother's jewelry?
We are all sinners, Mom. And besides, that was 20 years ago. A person can change a lot in that time.
Unquestionably. My husband is living proof of it. No more than I.
Would you kindly introduce your two companions?
This is Lady Christina, second wife of Lord Binic of Norsteds. She's standing in for him here today.
Nice to meet you, sir.
How come your husband didn't come?
Because he's been rotting for nearly a year in the king's captivity.
I'm sorry to hear that, Mom. I pray that God shall return him to you soon.
I've been praying for it since the day I got word of his captivity. Perhaps worldly powers will come to our aid once the promised army turns up. One hopes.
What's your opinion of the outcome of today's assembly?
That it's about time. Although at the onset it looked like everyone here would carry on arguing like fishwives at the market. But in the end, it seems the agreement arrived at will bear fruit.
It's rather noisy here, Mom. Don't you think?
It is, a bit. But that's all part of celebrations, and today we have cause for celebration, don't we?
Wouldn't you prefer a little privacy? I'll gladly escort you.
Restrain your ardor. You're not the first to try and lure my girls somewhere out of my sight. If you want to amuse yourself with them, I insist on being present, or you may be on your way.
But I had no wish to.
And while you're on your way, we're quite thirsty from all this constant chit-chat. Be so kind and bring us another pitcher of wine. I don't know what's in those kegs, and I don't intend to try it out.
There are a few of those around my mind, too.
I beg your pardon.
God be with you. What kind of name is Bruce Phallus, anyway? It's pronounced Bucephalus.
G'day. Vouch for me.
I see 4 hooves, a mane, and a tail. And I say, it's...
May I interrupt you for a moment?
You already did, didn't you?
What's the matter?
One of the most esteemed guests ordered more wine. Where might I find it?
All over the place. Are you blind?
I meant the really fine wine. The kind that Martin Oudrin would drink.
No way. Sir Martin ordered for it to be served only to him and a few of his favorites.
Have you seen the state he's in? Tomorrow, he won't even remember what was agreed here today. Anyway, he'll never miss one jug of wine if it disappears.
All right. Them pictures are on a table in the cellar. But you didn't hear it from me.
Now off you go and leave us alone.
Signifies higher value?
Yes. Anyway, looking at him closely, I reckon he's one of the craft.
Do you get it, Father?
Please, call me Rabbi, Lord Capon.
Oh, whatever. Fuck it.
And you should not curse either.
See? You talk exactly the same as our holier-than-thous.
What is bothering you, young man? You should rejoice that you are to be married.
But I didn't ask for a wife. I wanted to prove that I was worthy of the name of my house.
Parish priest has quite
earn a reputation.
Sweating at the old
Travel the world.
Nearly drops his
And
soul.
maybe later,
Hallelujah.
one day,
Hallelujah.
Then you might be dead, sir. Think about the future. You need an heir.
But they could
Hunger,
have at least
poverty, and
asked
plague.
me.
It's too much
What
for
if
a
she's
man
some
to
ugly
take.
monster?
Even men of
Then
faith
she
are
will be a
cowering,
rich
faced by
monster.
evil
And God
overpowering.
willing, the children will take after you.
Anyway, I need more wine to wash down my pain. Will you drink with me?
I shall not, son. Intemperance is against God's commandments.
Ha! Told you! You're the same as our priests. But, to your credit, you actually practice what you preach.
Begging to be eaten.
You in need of something, my wild friend.
I'd like to drink a toast with you to our joint success. As they say, all's well that ends well. So, to brighter tomorrows.
Touching.
Come now. What's become of your poetic soul?
I never had one.
Truly? Not even a little?
Well, maybe once. The older I get, the worse it is. Give me a few more years and I'll become a professional mourner.
See now. I'll gladly drink to that with you. Only there's nothing to drink. We've run dry.
Fuck. I've got a tongue like a slice of weak old bread after all that gabbing.
Well, get something wet for us then.
His lordship is so unsteady on his legs, he can't make it as far as the keg.
To hell with that keg slop. Your father surely has something better stored away. I had my eye on him all evening. He had pictures brought from somewhere for himself and his closest friends, and left the rest of us to drink cheap dregs. Try and find one of those pictures for us, eh? I'm sure you can manage that.
You can bet on it. I've got a nose for booze.
I don't doubt it. Get sniffing quick.
Hey, Mick! Where are we supposed to keep watch outside the gate today?
I am not sure. Didn't he say that Lord
I am not sure.
I love my Alishka.
Anywhere, even at home. This is about Sigismund.
is calling out to me, begging to be eaten.
Sorry, have you got some time to spare?
From cleaning up this pigsty? Any time.
I've come to rescue you from work and responsibilities.
Really? Why don't you save that sweet talk and tell me what you want?
Well, it occurred to me we could maybe spend a little time together.
Of course. What else? Do you play dice?
You mean strip dice?
You strip if you like. Either way, you'll end up bare-assed and with an empty purse.
I'll give that a miss, thanks.
Not up to it? Eh? Look, if you want a bit of fun, go and see Dasha. She slept with half the fortress. And the whole village. I've got some warm wood downstairs. They'll all need it in the morning.
Greetings. Can't it wait till morning?
Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but are you busy?
What do you think? A fortress full of hungry mouths and half of them noble lords accustomed to all kinds of debauchery.
I haven't eaten so well in a long time. Lord Odoran was fortunate in his choice of cook.
He didn't have to choose me. My old ma spent her whole life in this kitchen, and my grandmother before her. God rest them both.
Wait, you're Kvieta's daughter, Madlenka.
It's been a long time since anyone has called me by that name. I was afraid you'd forgotten me.
You haven't changed at all.
But I have. And you've changed too. You left a haughty young pup, and now you return...
An old dog.
Not at all. The years have been kind to you.
And how have you been all this time? Did my father give you a hard time?
Not really. When he remarried and had another son, his mood improved quite a bit. I also got married. And soon I had my little Elishka running around under my feet in the kitchen. Young Sir Christopher used to come and play with her sometimes. He was always a very nice lad.
Tell me more about Elishka.
She's a big girl now. She's a maid here for now, but I'm sure they'll find her a better job soon.
Well, aren't you worried about her? A young girl doesn't have it easy in life.
Even as a little girl, she used to beat up the boys in the village. I put up with all sorts of things without a peep, but not her.
And your husband?
Kuba? He died when Elishka was just a baby. He got bitten by a dog, and the wound festered. It was quick.
God grant him eternal life. Why don't we go somewhere together? Somewhere private. And reminisce about the old days.
You really haven't changed at all. You ought go and have a drink and stop chasing girls. I mean, it's embarrassing at your age.
Maybe I should add some spice. I've got some warm wood downstairs. They'll all need
Everybody likes a drop of white.
Now there's a piece of horseflesh for you, Rudard. Not like that nag of yours.
What the hell do you beat it with? It looks more like a damn bull.
Sir! Sir! There's some horsemen right out front of the fortress.
Ah, that's Peter of Pisac. Wouldn't come to the council, but he is coming happily to this celebration, you old fox.
Come on in, sir. There's wine aplenty. Enemies at the gates!
Seize the nobles! Kill the rest!
I'll kill you.
Jesus! The surrounding crystal! He can't make it on his own.
Finished.
Keep
One step back! Stand your ground!
You're not up to it!
That's right! Drive those horsemen out!
Tell your son! Good night, strike!
Coming! Take yourself!
Come!
I'll sort you out!
Fuck you! You're dead. I'm wounded. Bad luck. I'll show you stuff. I'll be done with you in a flash. You got him! I'll kill you! Cover your head! Bashing on the head! Show what you're made of! He's had it!
There's your life in his own film yet!
That was a close shave.
A little too close. Oh, fuck me. Do my eyes deceive me? Henry!
Godwin!
How did you get...
Damn. I can't tell you how happy I am to see you. You turned up at just the right moment.
Is everyone alright?
No, some are, some aren't.
They captured Odorin, Kunstad and Rutard. And they took Alder and Conrad of Vector away too.
They wanted to slay the rest like dogs.
What about my father? And Hanush?
They left with Jobst long before that. I'm sure they're all right, but... not everyone was so lucky.
Where did they go? Back to Ratoi?
They've got to raise an army for us. And I hope they fucking hurry.
So we have a plan to counter Sigismund?
More of a promise than a plan.
But, as you can see, our allies are getting scarce. We should lay low until Jobst gets back.
I'll gladly play dead for a while.
Be so kind. And don't speak of the dead.
What happened, Godwin? Who died?
Anna of Waldstein. She didn't stand a chance against those butchers. May she rest in peace.
She was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And they almost killed my brother.
But only almost. Good work.
What do you mean, almost? What happened?
I got there in time to help him, fortunately. Christopher tried to defend our father, but nearly lost his life doing it. For nothing.
Old grievances aside, Oratory is an ally. The same as Rutard and Botchek.
Oh, they all have their quirks. Cousin Botchek's a money-grabbing magpie. Then I wouldn't give up on the fucker either.
We'll have to wait for the other side's move anyway. We don't even know where von Berghow took them.
I tried to come as soon as possible and warn you, but von Bergov's people beat me here.
You knew he was coming.
He wanted Oratory. He probably had no idea they'd find most of Sigismund's enemies here in one place.
I bet he couldn't believe his fucking luck.
And Sigismund will be moving at a gallop. We have to be really careful now. One wrong move, and he'll hang the lords.
Is there anything we can do?
Definitely not right now. We'll treat the wounded, bury the dead, and get the hell out of here. Then we'll hide in the Devil's Den and wait for Jobst and his army.
If I survive the journey... Oh, God's teeth. That stupid nag nearly broke me in half.
The king announced one more thing at the council. He asked the councillors to ransack the Jewish quarter. That is, he ordered it, more like.
Fuck! Liechtenstein's got his people there. They could reveal a lot.
The city rabbi is sitting upstairs in the hall. At least he's safe here.
They're our allies. We have to help them.
What do you mean by we? Everyone here is lucky to be still breathing. I can just see them all jumping to their feet and rush to save their poor Jews.
Maybe Samuel will figure something out. He wanted to talk to you anyway.
He's here too?
Aye, escorting the rabbi. You should go and see them as soon as possible. And tell Liechtenstein too.
Anyway, we've got work to do. Godwin?
Give me a moment. I'll go and see Christopher first. Guard the walls until morning. If anyone shows up, I want to know about it.
What about your horse? I don't know. I saw him bolting out the gate. Someone set his mane and tail on fire.
Handsome, young, dirty. Well, at least it was over quick.
Good to see you both. Alive.
Oh, come on. You know, I've walked out of much worse scrapes laughing.
They could well have killed us all. If it hadn't been for you, Henry, von Berkhoff could have caused a lot more harm.
Von Aulitz surprised even Sigismund with that. You should have seen the look on the king's face when he told him.
Well, thank God we all survived.
Well, not all of us. They killed Lady Anna of Volstein and many other nobles. It was slaughter.
And they captured our closest and most influential allies. Without them, we can hardly get the burghers on our side. We're stuck.
We'll figure out a way to help them.
But how? Our plans are ruined.
Get a grip. Whining doesn't help anyone.
You're right. When I drink too much wine, I get overwhelmed with self-pity. Nevertheless, I have to admit it can't get much worse.
Actually, it might. And very soon. At Sigismund's council, an order was given to ransack the Jewish quarter.
God's wounds! We need to get back to the city and warn them.
I'm going with you.
Out of the question. Do you want to end up imprisoned again? You'll be more useful if you stay here and help Shishka. Henry, tell Samuel and the rabbi to get ready to travel. I'll try to get someone else to join.
What do you make of this Brabant fellow?
He's unquestionably a remarkable knight, that Vatalin. He rambles on a lot, though. My head nearly bursts listening to him sometimes. Although it was better than being stuck there alone. Otherwise, he seems to me like a bold and worldly gentleman, if a little obsessed with wealth.
I agree. He seems quite likeable. And he's got a score to settle with Sigismund, like we do.
He certainly has.
What happened when von Berghoff hauled you off after the Nabokov battle?
It was a dreadful journey. Jesus, don't even remind me. It was a bit better in Malashov. Apart from being locked up, of course.
Did anything happen along the way?
No, but it took ages to get to Malashov. 4 or 5 days in that god-awful cart. I was traveling with von Owlet's minions. They hauled me in one of the wagons. They treated my wounds a bit, but I was still in a really bad way. After that battle and all.
What did they do with you in Malashov?
Nothing much, actually. They took care of my wounds, and then stuck me in a room with Brabant. But they treated me decently, as befits a noble. Von Berghoff came asking questions a couple of times, but that was about it. Only I almost went mad from being cramped in that damned room. It's a good thing you got me out of there.
What was the problem with the room?
That I couldn't get out of there. You saw yourself when you came for me, didn't you? It's just that since Nabokov, when they shot the tower right down on my head and I was stuck there. Well, since then, I don't feel well in cramped spaces. Actually, I never did. I always preferred to be outdoors. But since Nabokov, it's worse than ever. I had a feeling the roof would fall on my head again and I'd be buried alive.
I understand. It's a bit awkward for you that the nobility lives in castles.
That's a fact. Once I get my hands on my estates, I'll build a new castle that only has huge rooms and lots of spacious courtyards. And above all, no secret passages.
Great. I'm really looking forward to this new castle of yours.
You can be the castellan or something. Don't worry, I won't forget you. I'll even have a forge built so you feel right at home.
They didn't let you out at all? But you were in that room for ages.
No. They let us walk around the fortress a bit. We even went out for a ride twice, but they watched us like hawks. Not a chance of escape. But most of the time we were in that room. Like I say, I'm really glad you got me out of that hole.
What did von Berghoff want from you?
Just the usual courtesies. The captivity of nobles has to observe certain formalities, you know? It's not like they could just throw you in some hole. They behaved fairly respectfully, but of course he was fishing for information. About Radzig and Hanush, and especially Jobst. What they're planning, how many men they have on the field, who else they're negotiating with and that.
And what did you tell him?
Nothing that he didn't already know. I played as dumb as the village idiot. I only told him they sent us with that message and discussed the rest when we were gone.
And did he swallow it?
I think he suspected I was bluffing a bit. And then he tried to loosen my tongue by letting me go hungry for a while. But he soon gave up when he saw he was getting nothing more from me.
My word. Nice work keeping him at bay. But the main thing is, you're alive and kicking. And back with us.
Indeed.
Jesus Christ. Put enough arrows in him to knock down 3 lightning.
We have to take care of young Sir Christopher and hope his father comes back soon.
Yes. The best thing we can do is to keep doing our work.
What if the old lord doesn't come back?
Then we'll have a young one. He's not a little boy anymore. Soon he'll get married and have a bunch of children.
We can only hope.
The tower is still smoking. And you want to run away?
Shout it even louder. I don't think they heard you in the
Only
courtyard.
Jobst and the Ratai lords left.
I'm not saying it. And prove that his alliance isn't far.
one knows where they took Odorin and the others. Don't mourn, just...
And we all vow
No one knows where they took Odorin and the others. Don't mourn.
Don't worry. You're not going to die.
Sam, I need to have a word with you.
Uh-huh. That makes two of us.
Just tell him. You may not get another chance.
I talked to Godwin. He said you know each other?
What did you talk about? Me?
We talked about your stepfather, Martin.
Why? Neither of you knew him.
It's true, I did not. But I tried many times. Remember how I stared at your sword when we first met? I recognized the Master's symbol engraved there. Well, the thing is, I am Martin's son.
What? Pa's son? How did...
Yes, his son. That is, his bastard son.
Are you sure? We look the same age, and Martin lived with me and Ma as long as I can remember.
When I was born, he was already long gone. Maybe we are not even a year apart.
And what does that make us then?
Nothing. Proof perhaps that both your god and mine have a sense of humor. You know, all my life, I thought if I did not give a shit about that man, it would be easier. But now that I know I will never see him, it troubles me that I did not get to know him.
I can tell you about him if you want. But now is not the right time. This is not the end. We have to go to Kuttenberg, now. Sigismund ordered confiscation of the property of people in the Jewish quarter.
The king has approved Xere.
He's no king to me. He's a fucking whoreson.
What's a Gezerah?
That is hard to explain.
Nonsense. It is as clear as day. Christians set out to kill our people. Innocent and often defenseless. Ransack their houses and divide the loot. And all that with the king's blessing.
This is what we were afraid of. But we did not expect Sigismund to be in such a hurry. We need to get back into the city and get the people out, quick, before it begins. Will you come with us, Henry? Every man counts.
I'll come. And Liechtenstein already knows about it too.
Very well. We should get going right away.
Let's not waste time.
Thank God you're all right. On the way here, I saw Sigismund horsemen and feared the worst.
Kubienka? What brings you here?
Well, I heard you were having some kind of a feast here, so I came to grab a bit of meat. And I see, instead of that, you have a massacre here.
Well, the real massacre is yet to come if we don't do something fast. We have to get to Kuttenberg. Can we borrow the wagon you arrived on?
But of course. I borrowed it too, if you know what I mean, but,
Could you stop blabbering already? We don't have the time.
Easy, Ingele. And you, sir, if you can, come with us and help us.
All right. But could you please tell me what the fuck is going on?
I'll explain to you on the way. Time is running out.
Are you coming too, Sir John?
Of course.
But do you think that's a good idea? No offense, sir, but you're no great warrior.
I'm not. But I'm not just going to sit here and wait, either.
All right, then. Let's go.